guys, it is me, your girl Shant'e, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome to the channel. If you are new, scratch that, welcome back, period. So by the title and the thumbnail, you guys can see that this is actually a story time connected to an update. So I decided to put 2 in 1 because this story time is actually where I have been. So I mean, it made sense to make it an update and a story time, and because you guys love story times, I just decided, why not? This story is I don't want to say I might get emotional. I might get very passionate more than emotional, because as you guys see by the title, this actually happened to me and it was very traumatic for me, especially because, you know, it's not just me anymore, it's my son. So it affected me as well as it affected him, and anything that affects him, it affects me double. So yeah, let's get right into the story, and let's just go backwards to go forward a little bit. So I was raised in a one-parent household. I only had a mom, never knew my dad. I had 3 older siblings, 2 older brothers, and 1 older sister. All 3 of them have the same dad. I am the only one who does not know her dad, and I have a separate dad from them. So me and my mom have never had a great relationship. We've had a decent relationship, but it was never a mother-daughter bond connection. There was no emotional connection there. It was literally just, you're my mom, I'm your daughter, and that's just what the law, by law, that's what that is. I started feeling left out around, I want to say I started paying attention to it in like middle school. When I first started middle school, leaving 5th grade-ish. Again, I never knew my dad. My 3 siblings were able to meet their dad, pick and choose if they wanted a relationship with their dad, know, you know, with their dad, their other siblings, and etc. Me, however, I was not given that option. I was always lied to about my dad. No one knew the story of my dad, nothing, nobody knew anything, and it kind of played a big part on me, because it was just like, you know, unfair. That was automatically unfair. So okay, because I'm trying to give y'all the background and then I'm gonna give y'all the story time. So anyway, I've always felt like my mom treated me like an outsider. One was, I didn't know my dad, she never wanted to tell me. I did have a stepdad, and he left my life, I want to say around 4th or 5th grade. I want to say, I know it was in elementary school, I just cannot remember what grade I was in when he stopped seeing me. He ended up meeting someone, marrying someone, and I believe my mom just cut him all off from seeing me, which is not, that's not fair for me. Being one, I don't know my dad. I took my stepdad to be my dad, found out he's not my actual dad, and then you're gonna take him from me. You know, like that was already PTSD for me. That was one. And then I would feel like a huge disconnect from my mom. I felt like all the time, whenever it came down to men, my mom was very attentive, but she was never attentive to me. And I felt like I always used to write, like I started writing when I was very young. And I used to write like my mom little letters like, hey, you know, I feel like you're being mean to me. I feel like, you know, you're not hearing me. You don't want to play with me. You don't want to talk to me. Every time I would go in my mom's room, oh, get out. I don't feel like that. Oh, my hair. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do this. Go on. She always gave me, she was irritated, or I was always bothering her. So I would always write a letter and I would slide it under her door. And my mom would be on the phone, because I used to be nosy. She would be on the phone and she would tell like her friends or whoever, the guy she was talking to, and she go and writing this stuff, being dramatic, and she would rip it up, she would throw it in the trash. Even the little things that I used to make in elementary school, everybody used to make things for their moms in elementary school. My mom always used to throw them in the trash. She used to throw them on top of her dresser and just throw them in the trash. Me, I am a very sensitive being. I am very emotional, so things like that will always play a big role. Like I will replay that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again in my head, being young. And then as I gradually grew, I started realizing like, okay, yeah, nah, this is intentional. Like this ain't even just no little, maybe, you know, it's just happening. This is actually intentional. So as time progressed, I felt like my mom used to dress me like a boy. I felt like my mom just did not care about how she would do things. And disclaimer before I get too deep, this is not to bash my mom. This is literally to tell my side of my story, because my side has never been told. I've always held on to this. People in our lives knew what was going on, and they always tried to encourage my mom to better the relationship between me and her, but she was so rebellious on doing that. So it's just like, I no longer want to hold this in, because I meet girls on TikTok, Instagram, and in real life, and they talk about this and they wonder like, how did you get through this situation? Like, how are you still standing in the midst of not having a mom and not having a toxic mom and an absent dad? That played a traumatic role on me. because I had no parents, and I didn't even have my siblings because they were in their own world. So I technically raised myself, if we're being completely honest, and like my environment did not raise me, but some people played a big role in my life who are not biologically my people, but I'm so grateful that God blessed them into my life, because baby, I don't know what I'd be out here doing, okay? Being in middle school, I just felt like it was just like my mom just gave me the bare minimum, from the hairstyles to clothes, field trips, any of that. And granted, mind you, my mom had a career job. I wasn't asking my mom for any money and stuff like that, if we're being completely honest. I always really wanted just my mom to put in effort. It was never, mom, I want to be like everybody else, buy me what everybody else got. It wasn't that. I didn't care. It was what it was. Like, now don't get me wrong, my mom would do, you know, little things, but those materialistic things did not matter as much as my emotional state. Like, my emotional state with my mom was always a negative 15. Like, it was never a time where my mom made me feel connected to her, or like I was her actual child, or she gave toots about me, okay? So time goes on, and I started getting older. I started kind of like just, you know, not paying attention to the offenses, but then they gradually got worse. We ended up going to counseling one time, and I told the counselor, I was like, well, my mom was a lockdown mom. I couldn't do nothing. It wasn't no explanation on why I couldn't do nothing. It was just because I said so. That was my mom's biggest response to anything I would ever ask, is because I say so. There was no explanation. Granted, sometimes, you know, if you don't want to explain, you don't have to explain, but don't give me that answer all the time and expect me to be okay with it, because it's just like, I'm doing my chores, my grades, I'm straight A student, I'm not being bad, I'm making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Why can't I go outside? My mama never let me go outside. So I told the counselor, you know, what was going on, and she was just like, okay, why don't you let her go outside? I don't know any of her friends, and I don't know what she be outside doing, and da-da-da-da. So the counselor suggested, okay, how about you get to know her friends, and then once you get to know her friends, maybe, you know, you can tell, you know, what friends are good for her, what friends are not, and you'll feel more comfortable with letting her outside. She told this lady, okay. So we get back home, I'm like, okay, mom, do you want to meet my friends? Just because she said it don't mean we doing it. Well, I mean, like, what was the point of going to counseling if we ain't about to do none of the exercises that was in the counseling class? My mom is the type of person where she will want to take me places where people tell me that I'm wrong, but the moment people tell her that she's wrong, she don't want to do nothing. She don't want to hear nothing about it. Like, that's literally how she treats me. She would tell everybody anything negative Shant'e do before she tell them anything positive Shant'e do. That was that. I was raised in the church, so everybody in the church, my adopted grandma, my adopted aunties, everybody would tell her, you know, you need to better that relationship with her, because the relationship is horrible. Even my uncle, my biological uncle, he's a pastor. He would literally tell my mama, like, you need to be better with her, you need to do better. But anybody that tells her the truth, she runs from, or she don't want to hear it. Like, she will not talk to them at all, because it's the truth. They would tell her, you need to tell her who her dad is, you need to tell her that story. So as I got to high school, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe things will progress, you know, I'm getting a little older, you know what I'm saying, your girl getting a little older. So I'm like, okay, maybe it was just a phase for my mom, you know. It wasn't a phase. So my sister graduated, my brother graduated, he had graduation pictures. My sister graduated, she had graduation pictures. My second oldest brother, he wasn't really a photogenic individual, so he didn't really have graduation pictures. When it was time for me to take graduation pictures, my mom literally let me go take the pictures, pay for nothing. My sister ended up going to college. She got my sister into college, made sure she filled out the FAFSA and all that other stuff, and etc. It was time for me to go to college. Nothing. Had nothing. So when I got to high school, there was this program, early career path. So I chose cosmetology, me and my best friend. So the grade, when we got there, it was one of our grades, which was to get a cosmetology kit. I think at the time the kit was like $300 at Sally's. And I let my mom know, I'm like, hey, you know, this is something that I really want to do. I really want to, you know, do cosmetology. Can you pay for my kit? And I don't have it. I don't have nothing. I can't spend this. I can't do this. I can't do that. But it was so ironic to me. Every day she would come through the door, nails is done, she got bags of food, she either got clothes, etc. I'm not counting your pockets, but if this is something that your child wants to do, she's invested in this is a career path, you can't sacrifice. I'm literally just like, oh my God, I'm gonna fail this class, I'm gonna get kicked out already, like, because I can't afford this kit. Like, I can't afford the kit. My mom basically telling me no. Called my brother. It was either my brother who paid for it or my play auntie who paid for it. One of the two paid for it. They were just like, Shant'e, don't stress it, I'll pay for it. Ended up getting the kit or whatever. Boom. In cosmetology class, doing everything that I need to do, whatever the case may be. That was something. Now, what happened with the class was something happened with the teacher. They ended up firing her. She ended up leaving, so we got cut short on that. Cool. As we get older, as time goes on, it's around graduation time. Now, mind you, not only was I emotionally drained, I was verbally drained. My mom used to say all types of stuff to me. Oh, you're never going to graduate. Oh, you're going to get pregnant at a young age. Oh, you're just dumb. Oh, you just make stupid mistakes. Oh, you just, like, when I tell you, this lady used to throw words at me. She basically was like, oh, you're not going to graduate high school because I feel like you fell in this class and you fell in this class. Now, mind you, I literally went into 9th grade and 11th grade with my grades top tier because I knew that those two were going to set me up the way I needed to be set up. If I could come in A1 9th grade, 10th grade year, oh, I'm chilling a little bit. 11th grade year, pick back up my slack. 12th grade year, baby, I was doing so good for I graduated, baby. I sung the graduation song. So you knew I was going to graduate. You can't sing the graduation song and you ain't graduate. They don't give you that type of, they don't give you that. What are you talking about? I'm for graduation time. It's time for grad bash. It's time for cap and gown. My mama didn't have a dime. Mind you, hear me out. I don't count my mama's pocket. But you knew all this stuff was coming up my senior year. What we doing? Every other child got everything they needed that they needed to get for school. My sister went to an elite school. She didn't even go to a regular high school. She went to a school called early college. It takes a lot to get into that school. Like, it was like a magnet program, I believe. So I'm in regular public school. You ain't got nothing for me? Nothing. Again, calls my brother. If it was not for my oldest brother, he's my god brother. Not even my oldest brother, but my god brother paid for everything that I needed. And prom came around. My mama didn't have no hair money for me to get my hair done. She didn't have no money for the dress, nothing. My mama took me to, I think, Ross, picked out this most craziest dress. And my play cousins, grandma ended up fixing the dress up for me so the dress could even look decent enough for prom. But for my sister's prom, my mama took her all the way to Statesboro to pick out a dress. Like, you're sitting, I'm there. We're sitting I'm in the room while all this is happening. We're in Statesboro, you picking out the dress. Y'all just having a whole shebang. My sister went and got her haircut. I just was heartbroken because I'm just like, what am I doing to you that's so bad to have you treating me like this? Like, I'm literally, I grew up so bad wanting to know why I was being treated like an outcast my entire life. It got to the point where I lost myself trying to be like my mom. My mom's a nurse. I was trying to go to nursing school, like, just so I can finally hear, I'm so proud of you. Like, that's all I ever wanted to hear from my mom. I'm proud of you. I'm happy that you're doing this. I'm happy that you're doing that. I'm so glad that I got none of that. I can count how many times on this hand, how many times my mama even hugged me or told me she loved me for real. And that's no cap. And I'm 27. That says a lot. So we graduate. Graduation is over. Everything's over. Like, I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm over it. As I got older, now mind you, I'm 18. You 18 when you graduate. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now, shoot, now I'm a little older. I can just go outside now. Now I'm out of high school. It's nothing really she needs to worry about. Boom, I get a curfew. My curfew is 10 o'clock. Stuff don't even start popping until like 9:30, 9:45. So you telling me I got 15 minutes to be outside and have to be back in the house by 10 o'clock? Never gave my mama irresponsible vibes. My mom thought that I was the party girl of the group, that I was the, excuse my language, the whore. My mama thought that I was gonna be pregnant. All of this stuff, my mom thought all of this stuff. And my best friend used to stress all the time, I just hate that your mom does not know you. Because I am the friend in the friend group. I am the grandma. When I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Ain't no excuse, ain't no ifs, ain't no ands or buts about it. Baby, if you're in my car, my crew, we about to be out. You got 10 minutes to do what you gotta do, and we out of here. Outside of that, I know what to tell you. You better find you a ride. I'm about to go. That's me. My mama think that I'm just, it sucks, you know, it sucks. Especially not having a dad in your life, so you can't even, you know, turn to somebody else. I've literally had to deal with verbal abuse. Like, hearing all of that stuff, especially being a young girl, like, you're supposed to be teaching me how to love myself, and you're teaching me how to hate myself. Like, I hated that for me. But anyway, now you guys know the dynamic of the background. My mama just was nasty. Let's speed up a little bit. Graduated, still was acting nasty, ended up meeting Demon. So I ended up meeting Demon, and I used to want to stay. Of course, if y'all hear anybody, it's Junior, I'm sorry. I used to want to stay the night with him. Like, I'm already 18. I'm not even, I wasn't even as sexually active as everybody else. So I wasn't even stressing about that. I wasn't trying to have no baby. I wasn't trying to do none of that. I literally was chilling. Got to the point where I was just like, you know what? in order for me to get a little piece of respect, I'm gonna have to, mama, I'm responsible. I'm not trying to sit in the house every single day for the rest of my life till 10 o'clock. Like, and then you're complaining, oh, you need to either go to school or you need to get a job. I'm literally working, catching the bus. Like, mind you, I was working at the age of 14. Like, I'm working at 14 because of my homegirl mama. She put me in a program. We started working at 14. I'm catching the city kitty at 14. My mama getting off at 4 o'clock. I get off at 6 o'clock and telling me, oh, we gonna have to catch the bus because I'm tired. My head hurt. I don't feel like it. So I'm catching the city kitty to get home, and it's taking me from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock to get home, and I'm walking back to the crib from the bus stop in the middle of the night. Mind you, my brother had got mobbed, jumped, and got his ear cut at the bus stop. So you're gonna allow your daughter at something o'clock at night to walk from the bus stop to the crib because you're tired. I'm tired. My head hurt. I don't feel like it. Just figure it out. I had to figure it out. That's not cool. That's your daughter. That's your daughter. I'm not saying every single time you gotta pick me up because you might, you know what I'm saying? But god darn, like, you ain't got nothing for me, but you taking my sisters and my siblings and stuff to their jobs and etc. But as soon as it get to me, you don't have nothing. Every time it trickled down to me, my mama had nothing for me. Nothing. No energy, no time, no love, no nothing for me. It always got, it was just always like that. It was just never nothing for me. Like, people around me will always see it. Like, when I was playing softball, my mama never showed up to one of my games at all. My homegirl mama and my homegirl daddy, they always showed up for her. How do you think that feel where I'm looking at my friends and they mama and daughter relationships? Like, I'm not comparing it, but it does hurt me because it's just like, why is everybody else showing up for me instead of my own mama? My mama got off at 4. My softball games was at like 6. We had to pay $2 for the breast cancer socks. My mama didn't even have $2 for the breast cancer socks. Mind you, my mama had a big container of quarters. You could have gave me $2 in quarters and you didn't even give me that. I'm sitting on the sideline crying to my homegirl, telling her I can't, my mama do not care about me, bro. She won't even give me $2 for socks. And my homegirl mom was like, Shant'e, here. I don't ever want to hear you crying about it. I got you. As long as I got it, you good. And that's cool to hear, but it's still in the back of my mind, like, what am I doing that's causing you to act like this with me? You know what I'm saying? So we gonna speed up. Started dating Demon. My mom was getting upset. Oh, well, you can't see him. You can't go out. I don't like all of that. I'm just like, bro, you're okay. Now you pushing it. Like, I'm 18, got a job. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm not out here acting wild. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm not saying I was the perfect angel. I was very rebellious due to the simple fact that my mama just would not let me do so. So I'm just like, well, I'm just about to go outside anyway. I was very rebellious because I hated that she would just tell me no, knowing that I'm a good child inside. Like, I don't do anything that's gonna cause anybody harm. I don't do any, I was scary, first of all. So of course I'm gonna do something that makes sense in my head, that makes sure I'm, 1, not getting in trouble, 2, not going to jail. I'm making sure I'm good. So end up dating Demon. A lot of you know who Demon is. That's what made me stay in that relationship for a long time, because when I met Demon, I met his mom. His mom ended up taking over motherhood for me, nurturing me. She was literally, oh my god, I love that lady. Like, she nourished me back because I was literally drowning as a daughter. Like, when I tell y'all, this lady loved me like her own child. Even when me and her son broke up and I was still living there, she literally was trying to write me in her will, like wholeheartedly, like, nah, you such and such and my son, y'all gonna be in my will. Y'all are my children. This is how I want this to go. This is how I want this to go. I'm gonna get some land. I'm gonna break it off for you. Like, literally, even when Junior was born, that was her grandson. Like, that was her grandson. That was not somebody she just, no, that was her grandson. And couldn't nobody tell her nothing because we had grew that bond. Like, she helped me get my first car. She helped me get in college. She literally taught me about businesses. She taught me about credit. She taught me about finance. She taught me everything that my mom lacked of teaching me. Everything my mom did not teach me, that lady taught me everything. Even the back end, how to love myself, how to be there for myself, how to deal with men, how to deal with so much. Like, and what I despised was that mom was being that for me, because what happened was my mama ended up kicking me out because she told me that if I go out with Demon, then I could just pack my stuff and leave. This story time is not the first time my mama has ever kicked me out. This is the first time my mama has ever evicted me, took me to court. Yes, I mean took me to court. She took me and her 2-year-old grandson to court to get us out the crib. When she kicked me out when I was 18 because I wanted to still deal with Demon, I'm just like, okay, cool. So I went outside. It was raining. I remember this vividly. It was raining outside and Demon was like, you know what, just grab your stuff and just come with me and my mom, because he would literally hear the stuff my mama would say, see the stuff my mom would do, he, like, people were literally thinking I was crazy until they stepped into my life and literally was hearing like, oh no, like your mom, that's how your mama talk to you, like that's how she deal with you, that's what your mama saying to you. So he wasn't, people in my life do not like that, because they know wholeheartedly I am a genuine caring person. So for my mom to act like that, it's crazy. My mom has this great act, and every time people come around my mom, she has this nasty attitude, and it makes people very uncomfortable. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. This video probably gonna be long, and I'm gonna try to shorten it as much as I can, but it's so much that I've had balled up into me since I was little, since I was tiny. And I'm 27, about to be 28 next month. Like, it's so much hurt and anger and disappointment that I had to deal with in the time span of not being here on this platform. So much I had to unlearn, so much that I had to heal from, so much that I had to put pieces together. Like, I had to be okay with not knowing certain things. It was so much, okay, so much gunk that I felt like was just piled up and piled up. Like, I had so much emotional damage in me. Oh my God, it ruined a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, a lot of partnerships. It ruined a lot. I ended up moving in with Demon. Then she caused this big commotion, calling my best friend, oh, I miss my baby, and I just want her to come home, and da-da-da-da. And in my head, I'm like, how do you want somebody to come home that you kicked out? Like, you kicked me out because you didn't want me to talk to him, and you started seeing that his mom was taking me to work and doing all this, that, and the third, extending herself for me, then I'm not even her child. Now you getting jealous. I started finding out that my mom was calling his mom a prostitute behind her back. Oh yeah, she probably doing this, that, and the third. And that's not what that lady doing. That lady's working. Entrepreneur just like me. That's why we connected. My mom despises entrepreneurs, and she just don't believe in entrepreneurship at all, baby. If it ain't school or a 9 to 5, it's just not gonna be successful for you, period. I started getting into depression with Demon. This is when the depressed stage came in, and it just got really, really bad, and I had nowhere to go. My best friend called me, and she was like, I just want you to go home. I know, you know, it's a lot going on, but your mama say she miss you. She say that she gonna do, you know, the relationship gonna get better. In my head, deep down in my heart, I knew my mama was lying. I knew she was lying. I knew she was lying. But my best friend, being the circumstances that I was under, she's not really trying to hear me say no. So to satisfy my best friend and her heart, for her heart's sake, because she's watching me be depressed. Like, she's watching me be depressed. And even for my mental state, I'm just like, Shant'e, just go home. At least you could just deal with that for a minute. Just deal with that. Y'all, I went home, and it smoothed over for like a month, and then it went right back. The yelling, the screaming, the making me seem as if I'm the problem. Like, my mom will always say this, oh, nobody else be getting on my nerves but you, and da-da-da-da, and I just wish you would just be out of here. I'm just sick of this. Like, my mom would say the most craziest things to me. It just used to hurt me so bad, because it just used to be like, bro, you're literally letting the devil use you, and I hate that for you wholeheartedly. I moved into the house. My mom let me know, you know, I was still working then, so I had to cut from working Starbucks to working at a restaurant as a hostess, and that's where all that came up. So as we're staying there, you know, I'm still dealing with Demon's mom. Like, she's still in my life, because that's just what it was. Like, if I got kicked out or my mom was doing something extra, I would go stay with her for a couple of nights till my mom cooled down. And my mom hated that. Like, she just started becoming very, very jealous. But then when she actually met his mom, oh yeah, that's our daughter, and thank you for, you know, helping our daughter. She's our daughter, da-da-da-da. But then behind her back, I don't like her, I don't deal with her, you rolling your eye. You're weird, because somebody's taking a role that you were initially given. You can't get mad, bro. You cannot get mad. Like, you're weird. So now that you guys know the background story of like my mom and everything else, I'm going to give you guys the actual story time of what happened. A speed up time. Junior's born. I actually ended up moving out before I had Junior. I moved out into my crib. If you guys are OG, you guys were seeing the house tour. I actually ended up taking down, but I moved into my first house right before I had Junior. And honestly, before Junior was even a month in my belly, I had moved out. And I cut my mom off because it was extremely toxic for the moment. I'm just like, I think we are great separate. I ended up calling my uncle, who's a pastor. He was just like, you don't need your mom to get into heaven. And I just feel like maybe you guys are best apart instead of together, because every time you guys are together, the things that she say and the things that she do, it gets you to the point where I was ready to tussle with homegirl. Like, and I should never get to that point with anybody, especially my mom. But if I got there, he was like, you need to mentally leave and physically leave. So I ended up leaving and ended up moving. So of course that's when me and Junior's dad started. Junior was born, ended up going through postpartum. Me and Junior dad disconnected, and we decided to just call it a quits before things had gotten to the point where we just could not be best parents. So we were just like, you know what, forget it, let's just be done. So I ended up calling my mom. Mind you, I had to beg her to come back home or whatever. So she finally was like, okay, cool, just you could come back. Of course she put stipulations and etc. on there as I'm coming back, and I'm just like, it's cool, it's whatever, I just need someplace for me and my baby to go. Came home. Now a lot of people are probably gonna be in the comments, oh, well, you're grown, you shouldn't have to depend on your mom, you had a baby and all this, that, and the third, and woo. I'm gonna give y'all that. Cool, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give y'all that because I am grown and I should be figuring things out, but it should not be a reason why I cannot rely on somebody who gave birth to me. Period. I'm really gonna go back and forth with nobody in the comments who's saying, oh, y'all be expecting us to always be y'all backbone. I've never asked my mama for nothing since the age of 14. I was working, getting to work by myself, catching the bus. I bought my first car by myself. I got into my crib by myself. Every financial situation I've ever been in, I pulled myself out of. I didn't ask my mom for a dime because her excuse was she didn't have it, so I made it do. So if I ever asked my mom for something, it's because I just did not have an exit route. My mom was never the first person I ever looked for. If anybody was the first person, it was either my best friend or it was Demon's mom. Period. I never asked my mama for nothing. So anytime I've ever asked my mama for anything, it's because I just have hit rock bottom and I have no resorts. It sounds bad, but that's just what it is. So I ended up moving back home, and the situation obviously just continues to get worse. It just got really, really worse around this time because my mom just thought that she could have a say-so in my son's life, like everything he do and how he move and what he should be doing and how he should be doing this and this, that, and the third. So boom, this particular week, when this story time right here, when eviction time rolls around, her and her boyfriend breaks up. She already mad. My son comes home from a game with his grandma, his dad's mom, and Junior was trying to throw temper tantrums, and I'm not the soft, gentle parent. Oh, just stop, baby. No, I'ma pop that butt. Pop the butt. His daddy was trying to take his clothes off. He fighting and swinging on his daddy. Popped him on the butt. Here she come in the room. Strike one. The one thing that got me, and that's why the whole thing went left, is she came in aggressive and cussing. I know the H. You ain't put your hands on him. Y'all ain't get mad because he don't want to go to sleep because y'all been out all night. Strike two was, you don't even know what you're talking about. First of all, he was with his grandma out all night. We were waiting up on him to get home. So I don't know what you're talking about. Mind you, my child's father was there. He was dropping Junior off from being out all day. First of all, you don't know. First, I didn't say anything because I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to ignore her. So then she was just like, y'all want to sit here and get mad at him because he don't want to go to sleep. First of all, why are you in me and his dad's business? Because when you used to slave beat us and people used to tell you to stop whooping us because that's technically was child abuse the way you was whooping us, what did you say? Those are my kids. These are my kids. Don't tell me what to do with my kids. So I use that same line. This is my child. Granted, I'm under your roof, but this is my child. Child, get your stuff. You can get out. Never argue with my mom. Every time she put me out, cool. Call my cousin on my granddaddy's side. I need to stay at your house for the night because, yeah, before I escalate on my mama. Go ahead. You know where the key at. Go. Packed a couple of stuff. Went over there because I really was planning on staying over there for like the rest of the week. I think it was like a Wednesday that all of this happened, and I was just like, I'm gonna just stay till like Friday because I don't have the time. So I went over there, whatever. I'm already blown because I'm just like, bro, this lady is dramatic. Like every 2 seconds you're kicking me out. Like every 2 seconds, every time you're mad, you're frustrated and angry with somebody, here you are thinking that I'm your punching bag and you about to just be punching on me because I stay in this crib. That's not right, baby. House, and I ended up calling my brother because I was just frustrated. So I was venting him. I woke up the next day, Junior was freaking scorching hot. Ended up telling me that he had COVID. So I'm like, okay, I need to go home because all my baby stuff is in my mom's house, and I didn't want to have him have COVID in my cousin's house because I didn't want her to, you know, to catch it. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go home. Y'all, gets back from the hospital to go home because Junior already had medicine that he could take because they was telling me, you know, the ibuprofen and all the other stuff to give him to take. So mind you, he had already had all of that stuff. I didn't have to go to the doctor, I mean, to go pick up no other prescription because I already had all that stuff at home. Girl, I get to the door. Why? Now, mind you, it's been like 24 hours. It ain't even been till Friday. It's been 24 hours. Do y'all know that this door, I put my key in the door? It ain't turning. Baby didn't switch the locks. Now, mind you, my mom was stressing. I didn't put you out. I didn't put you out. I didn't put you out. You put them out, you gonna change the locks. That's the first step to it. I'm changing my locks. If I put somebody out, I'm gonna change my locks. You kept stressing you didn't put me out. How? When in 24 hours you changed your locks. Now let me give y'all the backstory. My mom's boyfriend had just literally changed his locks on his daughter because they got into it. So what you did was follow behind his footsteps and thought you could just do the same thing with me. The difference between her and him, he's a family-oriented man. The reason why he be getting into it with his kids is because his kids don't call him for nothing but money. So of course I'm frustrated with y'all. You do absolutely nothing for your kids, so I don't understand why the heck you even trying to play that game. You do nothing for them. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You got grandkids that you don't come pick your granddaughter up that you already got. You barely see her. My brother made that very clear. You either gonna be a girlfriend or you're gonna be a grandma, because it's clear that you can't do both. The only reason why you seen this little munchkin is because we were staying in the crib with you. But as soon as I got evicted and I gave you the grace to be able to see him, you wasn't making it your business to see him. She ended up changing the lock, so I ended up calling her. It was a parade going on. I think it was MLK Day. I can't remember when this happened, but I believe it was MLK. So it was a parade. So she was like, oh, well, I'm at the parade right now. She was like, I'm at the parade right now. You're gonna have to wait until I get from the parade to get his medicine. You telling me my son that got COVID, your grandson, your 2-year-old grandson, especially when COVID can kill kids, you telling me that I have to wait to get my stuff that's in this crib and you shouldn't have changed the locks, miss, you didn't put me out? So Junior other grandma got pissed off because she's like, you telling your grandson to wait to get some medicine because you trying to be petty? My mom is the queen of petty. I actually have voice memos in my Instagram. She didn't know that I was recording, but I have voice memos. And just get this money so you can get Junior his medicine, because I do not like that. I don't like that at all. I don't believe in none of that. That's starting to get on my nerves, especially because it has something to do with Junior. You know, she don't play by her little baby. So I went to go get the medicine, waited till my mom to get back from the parade, which took like 2 hours. So I finally came back to the house. And she opened the door or whatever. We went inside. I gave him his medicine, his other medicine, because by that time it was time for him to take some more medicine. Gave him his medicine. I was like, all right, I'm about to go get my stuff. So she said, what stuff? I said, the stuff from my cousin's house. Now, mind you, I had to drive all the way to my cousin's house to get the rest of my stuff. So I ended up going. She heard me when I said I'm going to get my stuff from my cousin's house. So I go and I get my stuff, and I'm walking in the door with my stuff. And she said, well, where you going with that? I said, I'm putting it in my room. No, ma'am, I did not tell you can move back in. Now, mind you, my mama keep holding this. I did not kick her out. I did not kick her out. I did not kick her out. Remember that in your head, because she kept stressing that she did not kick me out. But listen to what is being said. I did not tell you you can move back in. I did not tell you you can move back in. You're not moving back in here. You're not moving back in here. I said, mama. Oh, I missed the point. When Julia had COVID, I ended up calling my brother after the locks was being changed. And I'm like, bro, why is mama trying to kick me out? Like, she tripping. So he was like, well, she can't kick you out. She would have to evict you because you do technically stay there. She can't just change the locks on you. That's illegal. Mind you, my brother's a police officer. So my god brother, he's like, she can't kick you out. And he's not about to sit here and go back and forth with no fake stuff. He's going to tell me the truth. Nah, she cannot kick you out. She knows that. So I ended up, and that's how I knew I could just go back home after she did that whole change the lock situation. I'm just like, okay, cool. Well then, okay. I ain't really too much pressed about it because she just be doing all this extra stuff. So boom, get home and I get the stuff. She like, oh, I didn't say you can move back in here. You not moving back in here with the roots. I said, oh mama, you can't kick me out. You not moving back in here. I said, okay, cool. I'm just gonna call the police. That's what really ticked her off. But I called the police because I don't have time to go back and forth with you because my son has COVID. I'm not about to play these little petty games because you're upset about something you did. You literally came and intruded in a conversation that me, and it wasn't even a conversation. You came and intruded on an action that I took on my son. That's not your place. And on top of that, you could have waited until his dad left and until everything died down, until you didn't have an attitude to be like, hey, I didn't like that you popped Junior. What was the reason for that? I could have gave you my reason. We could have called it a day. But don't come in here yelling, cursing at me. You came hostile. Police came. They let her know you cannot kick her out. She stays here. She has a piece of mail here. Her stuff is here. She technically stays here. And you have to change those locks back because she needs access to get in and out of this house because she stays here. When y'all tell y'all know I believe in God so hard. That is my dog for sure. Baby, a demonic spirit it's like a demonic spirit jumped out my mom's throat. When I tell you her attitude was disgusting, even the police officers felt so bad for me. And they literally was like, you sure you do not have nowhere else to go? Because that right there is not even worth that like it's not even worth staying here. They was just like 10 times out of 10, if you do get kicked out, because it's looking, they was telling me the truth. They was like, you might, because y'all don't have like no agreement and this is your mom's house, you might get kicked out. Just please thoroughly be looking for somewhere to go and etc. So at that time, in the back of my head, I'm really just like, okay, cool. Mind you, in the midst of this, all this going down, I'm in the midst of either buying a home or waiting for an apartment to be finished, to come available. I'm on a waiting list, literally waiting for an apartment to come available. I'm not even trying to stay in this lady house long. I'm on a waiting list. Like, I'm waiting for these apartments. If you know waiting lists, baby, waiting lists take long. I'm not trying to pay her arm and legs to the place that I do want to be at. I'm on the waiting list for it, and she knew that. And I think that was the messed up part. You knew everything I had going on, and you went and you just came and disrupt everything that I had lined up for myself. She went across the street to get the tools so she could change the locks back, and then she walked past me with the most nastiest attitude. She was like, you got 30 days. And I walked in the house, continued. My job, what y'all about to hear my mama say, y'all gonna be like, girl, what? Okay, boom. So me thinking like my mama just doing one of those big ones where she's being petty, and she just being petty. She gonna go, she not gonna file eviction. She just did that to do that. I just told myself, Shant'e, we gonna have to trickle down on time. We gonna have to figure something out a little quicker, because it's your time to leave for sure, permanently. To knock at the door, the police department coming to serve me within 30-day eviction. And I looked at the picture, I looked at the paper, took the picture, sent it to my best friend, sent it to Junior's dad, and I just sat on the floor and I cried. I cried. I cried because I'm just like, bro, why are you so evil? Like, why are you so, I don't even depend on you often. In the times that I do depend on you, you make me realize why I don't. Why I'm in this by myself for real. Like, you are evil. Why? So I sat down and I just started talking to God. I never not talked to God. I sat down and I told him like the day that it all happened. Mind you, we walking around the house, not saying nothing. I'm not saying anything because the police officers is telling me, you know, don't say anything to her, because anything you say, she might try to hold against you. At least like, okay, cool, I'm just not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna chill out, because I don't have time for her to try to say I did this. Because when I walked in, when she was talking to police officers, she tried to lie to these people and tell these people that I'm aggressive and I'm an aggressor. And the police officer is so irritated with her, because he's like, no matter what you say, if you did not report that she's aggressive, and we've never been to this house and we've never seen a report of her being aggressive to you, nothing is going to stop us telling you, change those locks back and give her back her heat. Simple. And she was so upset because you sitting there trying to lie, saying she gets aggressive sometimes. And no, you're the aggressor. You're the aggressor. You all up in my face, yelling, hooting, and hollering for no reason, running up on me. You have lost your mind. You're crazy. And I only don't swing because you're my mom and I respect you. I'm talking to God. I'm like, God, I just do not understand, bro. Like, why do you have me going through all of this stuff with this lady? Like, what is going on? Remember the Israelites asking God to deliver them and deliver them and deliver them, and he finally sent Moses to deliver them out. I hope I'm saying that right. I think I am saying that right. To deliver the Israelites, and I kept stressing from Egypt. I'm reading, and he showed me that scripture and that story in particular, how the Israelites was stressing, like they wanted to get out, they needed to get out. And the message that God had sent to me, he was just like, I'm about to deliver you out of your Egypt. And when I heard those words, I just got really content on whatever was gonna happen was just gonna happen. We ended up going to court. Junior's dad, shout out to Junior's dad, because I absolutely love that man. He is the best friend, the best dad, the best person in the world, because he rocked out with me for a long time. And despite everything that me and him has ever had going on in life, he has literally made it his business to always not just be there for Junior, but be there for me. And not even in a relational wise, just as a friend first. Like, he's always just been there for me. So shout out to him. He played a big role in this part as well. And it was, we ended up going to court, and I just told God the day before court, I'm like, if she show up, then it's meant. And whatever happens, God, I'm not even gonna sit in this courthouse and fight. I'm just going to literally sit here and just, whatever happened, just happened. Now, mind y'all, I'm talking to my sister about it too, because I ended up calling her. Me and my sister has never had a great relationship either, due to the simple fact of my mom. I always felt like my sister was on my mom's side, and I feel like now that she's in a position that I am in, that I once was in, she's starting to understand where I'm coming from. So she was just like, you know, whatever I'm like, whatever is done in the court, I'm not going back and forth. I'm not doing it. I'm just not gonna do it. It is what it is. So get to court, And it was like a movie for me, because I'm just like, okay, maybe she's not gonna show up, because the guy did tell me at the booth that she don't show up, then that's canceled, and that's just that. The person that was standing in front of her ended up moving out the way, and I just looking, I seen her body, and my heart just dropped, and I'm just like, wow, like, you're really here in court about to evict your daughter in front of all these people. And I was really like sad, because I'm just, and embarrassed at the same time, because I'm just like, bro, a lot of these people about to sit up in this courtroom and judge me based off of the stuff that you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. Myself, it is what it is, baby. You pray to God, you seek his face, and he told you whatever happened it's gonna happen. He's never gonna leave you nor forsake you, and I need y'all to understand that, because during this whole situation I didn't depend on nobody but God. I made sure I fasted and I prayed and I seeked his face, because I had no idea what was going to happen at all, like no idea. But I was content, because I knew God would never do anything that was gonna harm me, and anytime somebody sets something up for me to fail, he always turns it into my favor. So go to court, and we sitting there. We ended up being like the second to the last people in there, so nobody really even seen anything. So the judge was nasty, of course. He was just like, you are what we call a guest, and your mom is a host. When the host say the guest gotta go, you gotta go. So you got 7 days. I didn't even get 30 days to be evicted. I didn't get 14 days. I got 7 days to be evicted. I wasn't gonna argue. I was about to, but I remembered that I had asked God for what I asked him for, and I just let things work out. And as soon as he said, you gotta go, my mom literally was like this. And I got up, and I was so irritated. My son was there, Junior's dad was there, and we walked out the court, and I hit the button, and I just literally, I started, like, the tears started rolling, but they wasn't like flowing like I thought they would be flowing. And Junior's dad was like, his dad was like, I bet not see a tear fall down your face. And I'm just looking at him like, bro, he said, I bet not see a tear fall down your face. You good. You're good. I didn't know what he was talking about till we got outside. So that's why I be telling people, let God do what God gonna do, because he's gonna put things and people in place for you at the time. Like he's working on the back end for real. Like God worked on the back end for me for real. We walk outside and she calls my name because she sees that I'm disappointed. She was like, Shant'e, and I just kept walking. What are we talking about? We have nothing to talk about. Because my mom is a manipulator. She's the type of person where she be like, well, he told you 7 days, but if you need 2 months to do. No, you just sat up in here and wanted to publicly embarrass me in front of all these people. Like, you wanted to embarrass me in front of all these people, and now you want to try to come with something? Don't want it. I'm not dealing with that. So we walk into the car, and he was like, all right, cool. Junior's dad, he like, all right, I'm gonna get the storage so you can put your stuff in there, and then y'all know where y'all going. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, where we going? With me. So by the grace of God, I was able to move in with Junior's dad, and I was really shocked because I didn't know he was already working that up on the back end. The day I sent him the eviction paperwork is when he started working on the back end to figure out what was about to happen and how he was gonna do it. Because I told him, I was like, bro, you're gonna have to get Junior, and I'm just gonna, this is me being transparent, I'm just gonna have to live out my car for a minute until I can rock out and figure it out, or, you know, at least bounce around to a couple of my friends' houses. But for the most part, I'm just gonna be kicking it, and I just at least need my baby to have somewhere to go. I don't really care about me. I just need Junior to have a roof over his head. That's it. That's all I'm worried about. And he was just like, as long as I live and as long as I'm breathing air in my body and capable and able, you nor Junior will ever be homeless. Never, ever. Because I did not have, I had no idea, no nothing in my head. So I ended up staying with Junior's grandma, his dad's mom, or whatever, during the time. Shout out to her. I'm so grateful for her, because we didn't see eye to eye at one point in time. And then it's so funny, right before all that happened, we ended up mending our situation and things ended up working out. So I ended up staying with my child's father's mom during this situation. Touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. I keep trying to tell y'all, any weapon can form, but I promise you they will not prosper. After we moved in and got everything settled, everybody's texting me screenshots of my mom, texting them, blowing them up. Oh, where's Shant'e? Is she okay? I'm just worried. I just want to know, you know, is she okay? Is she good? Like, what's going on? I miss Junior. I miss them. I miss this. Are you straight? Are you cool? Are you cool? Did you not just evict this girl? Did you not just take her to court? Now you concerned about her whereabouts and then you evicted her. Let's take all of this out. Let's take me out of the equation. You not evicted your daughter. You evicted your grandson, your 2-year-old grandson. knew that them two did not have nowhere to go. The problem with my mama is she wants me to beg, plead, and want and need her so bad. She wanted me to sit. This is what my mama told me when we had a conversation about what happened that night. She felt like I should have went in that room and said, Mama, can you not evict me? Can you... She wanted me to apologize for things that I did not do. I wasn't the one that changed the locks. I wasn't the one that came in and aggressive. I wasn't the one that was hooting and hollering and screaming at the top of her lungs. So what again am I apologizing for? What am I saying sorry for? My mama on a voice message, I'm not gonna play it because if she ever see this video, my mama want to be petty. She'll try to take me to court for this. Oh, well, and you know I'm the queen of petty. I just felt like you wasn't hearing me, and I felt like if I would have did that, then it would have made you understand where I was coming from. That's not gonna make me understand where you coming from. That is petty, and that is disgusting behavior. You are an adult and you're acting like a child. An eviction could harm me from even getting a place. You want me out so bad, but you're literally harming my credit by trying to put an eviction on it. Granted, by the grace of God, it did not pop up on my credit at all. Ain't God good? But that's not the point. I went to my grandma's house, which was so crazy because my grandma knew nothing of it. Nobody knew nothing about this situation. That's how I know my mama knew she was dead serious wrong, because she didn't tell nobody about it. Nobody knew I got evicted until I started speaking on it. My grandma was livid because when my mama was young, she had all of us, I think outside of me, under the roof of my grandparents. But my mama was the mama older. You better not get pregnant in my house. You better not get pregnant in my house. But you got pregnant under your mama and daddy roof. My granddaddy kept telling you to stop having kids. And he wanted to put you out after, I think, my sister, because you kept having babies. But you thought I was gonna get pregnant in high school. You thought I was out here doing this, that, and third. No, babe, stop projecting who you were on me, because I'm not that girl. I'm not you. I'm not. My grandma was livid. She was like, I never put you out the house. I never did that to you. My grandma had got on her. She was like, and I just feel like you as a grandma, you're horrible. You don't do anything. She said, when you wanted to go live your best life, be on no cruises and this, that, and the third, I was watching the kids. I was doing everything for you. My mama just literally forgets that my grandma literally played a major role in my childhood, because I was at my grandma and my auntie house majority of the time. 24/8. I always wanted to run away from my home because I just felt like it was nothing. There was nothing there. I had no love. I had nothing. My siblings wasn't even dealing with me. Like, my siblings wasn't making sure I was good. They wasn't making sure I was stable. They wasn't thinking about nothing but themselves. And no shade to them. And hear that my grandma was just mad. She was like, you don't do what you're supposed to do with your grandkids. You barely do anything when it comes down to me. Every time I ask you for something, you act like you got an attitude with me. But when it comes down to that man, it's nothing. Y'all, my mama had the most nastiest attitude with my grandma. She was like, look, I'm not about to go back and forth with neither one of y'all. If that's what y'all want to do, that's what y'all want to do. But I don't have time for that, girl. Y'all, her man called her and she said, I'm going to lunch. Bye. Literally, when it comes down to her man, everything is canceled. My grandma told her, she said, do you know that this could have harmed her? And mind you, my mama sitting up in my grandma's house stressing, I would never do nothing to harm you. I would never do nothing to do this, that, and third. My grandma said, so why did you get the eviction? Because you knew the eviction could harm her. She said, you know that eviction could mess her up. I know. And when she said that, I told my grandma, I said, there's nothing we need to talk about, because what you're going to do is make me mad-er. I'm already mad. I'm not trying to be mad-er. She's weird. Like, and that's just what it is. And I told my grandma that, stop trying to save somebody who don't want to be saved. Like, my mama's always been like this. My grandma see it. I see it. My other siblings see it. Her old friends see it. My mama don't have no friends. She got a man. That's it. That's the only person she want to be around. That's the only person she want to deal with. And it's always been like that. My mama don't see her granddaughter. She don't see this grandson, and she about to not see the next one. And not my sister baby. I ain't pregnant. My sister baby. That's just who my mama is. And it's not to get on here and bash her, but it is to let people know, like, y'all be sitting right here letting the hurt of y'all childhood leak over to y'all adulthood, and it starts to traumatize your children. You need to heal. I've always told my mama that whatever your mom did to you, I need you to heal from, because you're being a horrible mom to me based off of what she did to you. And I don't understand. You didn't give that to the rest of them. You're giving it to me, and I find it very, 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 very weird. So then when we decide to have a conversation, y'all gonna call me crazy. Right after the eviction, we stopped dealing with each other for probably, I had no contact with my mom. I let her know, stop texting and calling people, especially because you evicted me. So this is your bed that you gonna have to lay in, and that's on period. If you don't see your grandson, you don't see me, that don't have nothing to do with me. This is the bed you decide to lay in. That's it. Like a month or two later, I ended up opening a conversation with her. I ended up letting Junior see her. She tried to play the whole concerned adult thing. Like, she tried to make it seem as if it was nothing and I'm sorry and etc. Y'all about to be mad. My sister actually ended up moving back home, and I literally was upset with my sister for like the first month. because she knew, my sister knew where I was. Nobody else knew where I was. My sister knew where I was. My sister knew what I was going through. And I felt like she didn't fight for me. I felt like she didn't get to my mom and tell her, why would you evict your daughter who has a 2-year-old and you have no idea where he or she is? Why was my sister able to move back in the crib? Mind you, my sister is married and my sister is pregnant. She was able to move back in the crib while I'm out, basically technically out homeless. My sister moved into my room. It was never a fight to be like, bro, just let my sister come home. We'll figure out the relationship between y'all two, but let my sister come home. I don't know where she is. I'm concerned about her. It literally was no fight for me. Like, no fight. And I was upset with my sister for a long time because I'm just like, bro, that's weird. Like, you ain't even saying nothing. You making sure your foot's secured in this door. As soon as I left, my sister moved back in. And I just was like, wow. Like, wow. And for a long time, I thought I was the problem. Because I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm the problem because everybody else is cool with each other. It's just me. Like, what's going on? Like, let's see. Did I do something? Like, let me know. Like, I'm just as concerned because I'm just like, what did I do to deserve all of this? Like, I could see if I was bad, rebellious, cursing, bad. Like, I could see if I was a nasty person, but I'm not. I'm not. You guys see the story times and the stuff that I've been through. I am not a nasty person. And baby, I could be, but I'm not. My mama she just felt like she didn't do anything wrong. And my sister came, we ended up having a conversation. I ended up going to the house. My sister was there. She walked in the room and she was just like, I think you need to go ahead and tell her about her dad. I think that's another thing too, because that's something that she always wanted to know. So my mom ended up giving me this fabricated story that still had holes and lies in it, because I actually got a detective to find my dad and he still can't even find him because of the information and the lack thereof what my mom has given me. So crazy. Still don't know who my dad is to this day. I'm 27 years old and it's safe to say I probably will never know who my dad is, and I'm okay with that. My sister also let my mom know it's not that what Shant'e is saying. You be saying that this girl is growing disrespectful and she's not. Shant'e literally tells you the truth and you hate that. At that point, that's when I had, you know, grew back an attachment with my sister, because I'm like, okay, cool, you taking up for me now. I appreciate that for real, because I just felt like, okay, so is anybody going to say anything, or am I just going to have to keep defending myself? So my sister was letting her know, like, nah, the stuff she's saying is very accurate. Like, that is you as a person. Like, you're always negative. You don't support this girl. You don't support. And my sister's an entrepreneur as well. She was like, you don't support me. When I say something to you, you owe cool beans, and you just walk off. You don't say anything positive about anything. Everything is always a negative. As soon as something starts, negative. And my mama's sitting in there and she's like, yeah, I just feel like you act like this and you act like this, or you're this person. Like, the characteristic traits my mom was trying to give me that she thought she knew, I said, mama, that's very accurate. I'm not that person. My mama thought I was a quitter. She was like, yeah, because I know when you get frustrated, you just give up, and I just hate that. I said, I don't give up. I said, maybe I endure everything, because giving up would have been committing suicide. That time I thought too, after dealing with all of this stuff with you. I used to sit in my room and cut the middle part of my whatever this is called, with the little silver candles from the dollar store. I used to just I used to literally do this to my hand and just sit there and bleed, because I'm just trying to figure it out, and I'm a kid doing this. It was just a lot. And after that conversation with my mom, after that, I just felt like she was never going to take accountability in anything she did. She wanted me to sit and apologize, and my sister was like, it's not about any of that. It's like, you need to learn to say, I apologize. And my mama just felt like, well, I just feel like there's not really too much for me to apologize, because like, I took care of y'all all my life. My sister was literally, me and my sister literally like took care of us. How? Took care of us on what? You took care of them. You put my sister on your insurance. You helped her get her first car. You know, you co-signed to a lot of stuff. When it got to me, Shant'e had zero, nothing. If it was not for Demon's mom, I wouldn't have had the stuff I have now, because she helped me maintain and get that. You had nothing for me. Nothing at all. So after that, it was another situation, and something like just recently just happened. Not like, yeah, recently just happened. And I was just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm good. I don't want no conversation. I don't want nothing. But what happened was, before all of that happened, I ended up sitting down. I was fasting, and I was talking to God while I was staying with Junior's dad's mom, Junior's grandma. I was talking to God, and I was fasting, and I was praying. And I'm just like, God, I want to be back in my own space again, and I know you can do that. Having a meltdown one day, and I was in the parking lot, and it was right next to, I want to say, Renner Center. And I was talking to God. I'm like, God, I just need you to get me to my own place again. Like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I just want to be in my own space. And I literally looked up, and I had the picture on my phone. I literally looked up, and I'm gonna probably insert it. I looked up and I seen this, and it was like, worry-free living is closer than you think. And I just burst out crying because I just knew God heard me. And literally, I was talking to a friend, and I technically am not supposed to be in this apartment at all. Like, I had nothing. I had nothing. I had nothing. I was not prepared for nothing. Like, usually I'm well equipped, well prepared, I can roll with punches. But during that season, literally sitting back and letting God do everything, he literally did everything. I did nothing. Like, when I mean I did nothing, I did nothing. People were showing up in my life and moving and doing things. Like, my apartment was paid for from somebody else. Like, I did not have to do a thing. And that's literally sitting down and letting God do him. Who do you? Like, let God do what he said he's gonna do. Like, he gave me that promise. He didn't tell me how it was gonna happen. I was slightly concerned because I'm like, okay, God, I need to come up with this. He said, didn't I tell you to be still? Be still and let me do this. And it was so crazy because I was just so stressed out. I was like, I gotta get my own place. I gotta figure this out. Everything was handled. From being on the list, from being moved up on the list. I literally was listening to gospel music one day, and I'm just like, I hope these people call me back, because I need to be out of here. And I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, and then maybe I could figure out this and this and this. Literally, I'm washing dishes, and the apartment complex called me, and it was like, hey, when do you think you can come up here for the to fill out the paperwork? And I'm just like, and literally all in the same thought process, all that happened in one. I was literally listening to music, and somebody called me from a weird number, and I was thinking it was a scam. Called me, I just broke out in tears, because I'm just like, God, like, you hearing me, and you moving swiftly too, like, you moving fast. So that is where I have been. I just wanted to break down the story time because I knew you guys were gonna know, you were gonna want to know, and you guys needed to know what was going on with me as well. Like, I felt like I didn't owe it to nobody, but I really wanted to tell my side of the story, because I'm here to do my job, and my job is to save mother and daughter relationships. That's why I have a mentorship program for mommies and daughters. It's called Mommy and Me Mentorship, and then I also have a mentorship called Blossom for my younger girls who are looking for an older mentor as of myself, to help guide them and grow and to bloom into the flowers that they are supposed to be. I also have a podcast called Trauma from My Mama that will be dropping, and I'm super excited for you guys to see it. It's going to be so fire. That podcast is literally going to be based around cause, effect, and healing. It's not no bashing. It's not for anything. It's only for people who have decided to heal from all the trauma from their mama and actually want to help other people heal from their trauma as well. Because I although you guys heard all of this stuff that is going on in my life, I did decide to heal myself and not hold my mama accountable for a lot of things that she may or may not have known. At the end of the day, everything that I went through made me who I am today, and I would not regret any of it. The reason why I am tough, the reason why I can endure a lot, it's because of the situations and circumstances that I have been in, and I'm just forever grateful that God chose me to go through it. And a lot of people will be like, oh no, God, I don't want to go through it. Honestly, I don't want to go through it, but I love that I go through it. I cherish building things from the ground up. Like, I'm just grateful that nobody can come and tell my story better than me. You can't have a testimony without a test, and baby, whew, the biggest test of my life. Like, that was the most depressing time of my life outside of being in that relationship with Demon. This was one of those tough times. Like, I had nothing. Like, I'm not even afraid to say it. Like, I was up and I ended up being down quick, and I just felt like God was snatching everything from up under my feet. But the whole time he was shaking me up, because everything that's not supposed to be attached to you gonna move, but anything that's supposed to be attached to you won't even budge. And a lot of people fell off. Friends, businesses, habits, a lot of things started falling off of me because God started shaking me. And the people that was supposed to stay stuck like glue, baby, you hear me? I'm talking about, even when I was shaking, baby, they had a straight face holding on, like, I guess we ride this ride with you, baby, because it is what it is. So I'm so grateful for the people who have been through this journey with me. Shout out to all of y'all. I love you guys, and I love you guys as well, because in the meantime of me taking a break from YouTube, you guys were still subscribing to this channel. You guys were sending me emails. You were in my comments just praying and hoping that I was okay. And I really am grateful for you guys to have a community that cares for me the way you guys do. I just absolutely love it, and I pray that for everybody, not just on YouTube, just in life in general, like, to have people that literally prays for them it keeps them in the back of their mind. But I will say all of this, I want to say that if you have been through trauma from your mama, I just want you to understand there is literally purpose in your pain, okay? And it is not the end of the world. And I never want to hear suicide when it comes to y'all, because that was once something for me. And honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest, not being funny, I knew it wasn't gonna happen, because I can't even hold my breath longer than 10 seconds, okay? I knew I wasn't gonna do it, but it was just a thought, because it was just like, dude, would her life be better if I'm just physically not here? Like, would this satisfy her? But honestly, me taking my life would never, me doing anything for other people would never satisfy other people. I have to do things for me. So always feel valid within yourself. You are literally enough. You are always going to be enough. You have always been enough. Understand that the circumstances that you are in does not determine who you are, okay? You're not broke. You're not lonely. You're not depressed. You're not annoying. You're not unloved. That's not you. I want you to understand that there is purpose in your pain, and I want you to seek God. I'm sorry, I don't really believe in all that other stuff. I believe in the man who literally carried me through this entire situation. I want you to seek God. I want you to literally get alone with him, and I want you to say, Lord, whatever it is that you are trying to show me in this season, please reveal it to me. Show me what I need to take care of before you carry me into the next season, because I know you are not a man to lie. I know that everything that you are going to bless me with is going to happen in the time that it's supposed to happen. Allow me and teach me how to be content in this season, because that is the way to the next level. Contentment, being okay with where I am right now, even if it takes 10 years, even if it takes 40 years and 40 nights. God, you are going to get me there. Allow me not to get weary on this journey, but to always trust you and seek you, and know that even if my eyes are closed, that you will guide every step I take. Okay, I had to let that out. I felt the Holy Spirit in that one, you know what I'm saying? But make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you comment down below, and make sure you hit that post notification button so you guys can know whenever I post a video, so your phone can beep, buzz, vibrate, and do whatever it does when your girl posts a video. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video.